Welcome to the Daily High for another pump, another day, another dollar. Good morning, Tone. How are you, mate?
Morning.
I just got to say, I'm so impressed.
Daily
The,
High
the,
for
the,
another Where's that coming from? Is that on my side? That's on my side. My bad.
the last few days, we've had some great viewership. We've been over 2,000. We got 2,300 yesterday.
Oh, wow, nice.
Our engagement sort of is growing as well. I'm just really impressed. I think people have calmed down by the fact that I'm here. I think that we lost a few initially, and a few have come in and they don't mind. That's all right.
Yeah, I didn't
Bitcoin's
actually. Yeah, I haven't like kept up with yesterday's show. I didn't keep an eye on it. I was busy the rest of the day. It was kind of Valentine's Day around here, but yeah. So I didn't see the comments. Hope they're all good.
Yeah, they were all good. They were fantastic. All right,
Even though my trading in the contest has been absolutely abysmal. Thank God that's not what's happening in my real account.
Yeah, I mean, people are getting behind me, so it's good. I don't mind that. So I'll do the screen share because I won again. I've only lost one out of like the last six or something, so I don't mind
I know.
that.
I was on a streak earlier. Now you're on the streak, but today everything
Yep.
changes. We have an MRI top.
$70. I made $70 and 7%. So I will add 70 squid to the total and let's see what you've got, my friend.
All right. Oh yeah, you went off screen share. All right, hold on a second. Let me open this up. Let me go here, here, and let's go and take a look. That's me checking out Bitfarms and seeing where it's gonna pop to this morning. Yeah, we're gonna
Wow.
talk to some of the stuff. I'm gonna be exiting some of that and maybe some of my other positions.
Let's get into
We'll
that.
see. We'll get there. So in the trading contest, so the one thing I forgot to say in the trading contest, remember how yesterday when I was talking about that putting in that order and my stop loss was just 0.5%
Hmm.
up on the price because it was hitting certain levels. Yesterday, when once again I put in that short, the short was put in at the 7 a.m. candle, which was right here, right before the hourly MRI top. Again, we went up and then we went into a nice little pullback because this time around there was no higher price to put a pullback on, to put a stop loss on. My stop loss in reality, had I taken that trade with real money, would have been at 1%, not 0.5%. So I just wanted to,
Hmm.
again, this is an educational show. And the reason why my stop loss would have been at 1% instead of 0.5% is the 0.5% was useful because it marked a prior swing high. Because there was no prior swing high at the time of entry, I then gave myself a little more wiggle room since there was no prior swing high to achieve. And that wiggle room would have been 1 full percentage point, which we obviously broke at 7 p.m. last night, New York time. So just so everyone's aware. And because of that, I ended up losing 1.5% for $14. So I will lower my P&L by 14. We'll make it 15 and we'll make it 970 and leave it at that.
Great.
All right. Why don't you do an analysis first today?
All right. All right. Well, this is really intriguing for me because I said to Tone before the show, I said, Tone said, and I don't want to spoil the what's coming, but the fact that we can't just keep going up. We can't, well, this is just going bonkers, man. We're at 52, 320. And I've made the same basically, except like the first one wasn't. All right. Let's go to the daily time frame. Um, just like looking at the trades I've made. Like I got long here, closed here, got long here, closed. What was it here? Missed this trade, got long here, and I'm still in this trade today. I just these not this one here, that was a good catch, but here and then here, these two trades, and I would have took this one if I was awake as well. That's three of the same trades back to back to back, and you can't see it on the daily time frame here because it looks more like it's gone in a straight line. But on the 4 hour time frame, it's like a little ladder. It's a ladder. It's just going jut, stable, up, stable, up, stable, up, stable. And they've all been the same trade. We can't get away with just continually making the same trade, and which is what we're doing right now. Tonight's show, believe it or not, dear viewers, is going to be the same thing as here, 3 days in a row. 3 days in a row of this. Oh, if we break above here, it's a long, and if we go below here, below here, it's a short down to the at least a 30. And then it's the same. We've done it again here, which at the blue line, and then last night we did it again here. It's like, what are we just going to keep doing these little ladder positions over and over and over again? That can't run forever. At one point, surely you'd have to think that a pullback is due. But I distinctly remember 2020, and I'll scan back in time for anyone who's new. But you know what I'm going to say. 2020, I'll just go into auto scale so we can get a nice little time frame here. This period here, where we came,
you can use the go to button. I find that so interesting. So useful. It's
useful.
right next to, at the bottom next to all.
Yeah,
it would arrow with a calendar.
I'm on the weekly time frame, so I knew it wasn't going to take long.
But when we hit,
yeah, we're here. When we bottomed out after the COVID dip, and that insane parabolic move that went from 3,800 to, let's call it 69 in total. When that happened, how many times? I can't tell you how well I traded through this period, and it's not because I'm the best trader in the world. It's market conditions allowed it. It's very easy just to go long, 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 and they're just continually pulling profit, and winning and winning and winning. That doesn't happen forever. And then like the following 2 years didn't give me the same kind of results that I got on my leverage account just from doing that. And really, I'm having the same sort of purple patch right now in this period, going long, going long, going long, going long. It's just been money for jam. So it brings me back to the point that you've absolutely got to strike when the iron's hot, because we went through a 2.5 year, let's call it a 2 year period where this wasn't as easy to do as it is right now. So all these little ladder ups. I would highly recommend not to be in the mindset of, oh, well, I'll wait for a massive correction, like this can't go up forever, blah, blah, blah. You got to play the hand you're dealt. If this thing keeps ripping and it's giving you these little stalled out 4-hour time frame, little stalls and then breaks, like we're having one right now, like this isn't, once again, I'm just going to say it again, a very, very easy trade to make, because you've got a defined stop loss. If you were looking to scalp trade, like if you wanted to enter this position at, say, here, it's a very, very simple task to say, well, I would be out of the trade. Let's call it this blue line. It's 1.5% with no leverage. This is a decent little setup. And you might say, well, I want to buy back off at least the 7 EMA, but you had that chance when it came back down, and that would have made the gap even less, just 0.5%. This period of time doesn't happen very often. And if you know Bitcoin, all the gains come very, very, very quickly. So I really recommend capitalizing on that kind of environment. And I'm just going to go back to the weekly to finish off my little report here. I can't talk. I'm very, very interested in what Tone's going to say, because we came in, and I don't want to spoil the lead again. Tone and I look at a lot of the same stuff, but coming in on a daily MRI top and a 4-hour MRI top all at the same time is cause for concern if you were looking for a correction. But looking at the weekly, being a green star candle on the weekly, we're 3.5 days away from the highest weekly close in God knows how long. There's only been a handful of candles ever in the history of Bitcoin looking better than this. It's very hard not to be moonboyish at this point. And Tone, with that segue, I'll throw it back to you, because I want to hear a compelling case for a pullback at this point. And I think you've got one.
Yeah, well, it's mostly the daily, right? Let's go back to the weekly here. So the weekly is approaching my area of where I expected Bitcoin to top pre-halving. but I didn't expect it to come this early. So when this happens, the first thing I'm looking at right now is Bitcoin is super extended right now. So back, I remember about 15, 20 years ago when this was early days, man. Technical analysis has evolved quite a bit in the 20 years since I learned it. I think I learned technical analysis and it was early 2000s. So it has been over 20 years since since I learned TA. Kind of crazy. And I remember I was in the Bloomberg building, and they had these technical analysis educational workshops. And one of the most fascinating ones was like an indicator, and I need to build this indicator. I'm sure they exist. Was the percent move above the 200 period moving average. And even though I never quite built this indicator, I always like mentally paid attention to it. So right now we are 85% above the 200 period moving average. And I still remember from 20 years ago that whenever this metric on any asset hits 100%, things tend to have a problem. And I don't know how high this thing got at some points in Bitcoin. Pretty sure it was more than 100% at some point. 260. And over here, it was probably even higher and significantly higher, probably in the 400% category. But this is one of those metrics that you really want to pay attention to when it gets to 100% over. And I wasn't even going to talk about this. I just like realized it right now. That was 400% over, okay? In general, on traditional assets, at 100% over the two, oh wait, I might have done that a little too far. Wait, isn't the top of the wave the 200 period?
Yes, it is.
Or is that exponential on your side?
No, it's not.
So why are they not in sync? We'll need to look at that. Because my weekly is also 200. And I'm on the weekly. So I thought they would be in line. Something's weird here. Because that's my weekly 200. Anyway.
Maybe you've got exponential clicked on the alphanumeric settings, but I wouldn't have thought so.
I don't like exponential. Let me see. Do I?
EMA, yep.
Oh, Swinger is exponential?
No, go up a series. Select MMA type. You've got EMA settings in.
Ah, that explains it. Okay. Okay, that's better. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, I gotta check because I have to reset the MRI, the alphanumerics, because you made an update, and I still have the old one. Okay, I'll adjust the rest of them as well. So that's one thing. We are moving up. So the one thing that separates this move up on the weekly scale than the others, yes, I really like the green star candle, and it's great that prior the green star candle was not preceded by a runaway candle. The green star candle was the runaway candle. This time around, the green star candle preceded the runaway candle. And these two candles combined to kick off the move is so much, and it's happening after a big run-up. And that always has me concerned. We are about to break a very critical level of 52,500. And above that level, I was definitely going to take profit, but it is happening a little earlier in time. So when it's happening a little earlier in time, I tend to be a little bit more, I guess, lenient with continuing to hold the trade. Now, keep in mind, guys, even though I've been absolutely abysmal and embarrassing in this 24-hour trading contest, I have 100% bullish allocation in my account with real money. And that allocation is split between three things. It is mostly in the Fidelity Bitcoin ETF. It still has about 20% in the BlackRock ETF. And it has a bunch of options on Bitfarms, which is, again, a Bitcoin long position. Those options are at a $3 strike, and I will be exiting a bunch of those options today. Now that I see it's about to open in a pre-market at $3.70. So anything above $3.70, $3.75, I will be exiting a bunch of those options trades. I am also strongly considering exiting, putting one of these labels on here. I'm gonna maybe put it prematurely. We are gonna do a show tomorrow. Right here, where I'm gonna say again, tone sold. Oh, I'm probably only gonna sell like 25%. Tone sold 25% of, you know, BTC ETF, because I'll probably sell the BlackRock one. I'll hold on to the Fidelity one for reasons, and there's really only one reason. Just daily MRI top. This goes against Consensio. Consensio says hold this thing to 1 million. So I may, be a chicken shit and just, sell 25%. And hey, if it never pulls back, then it never pulls back. I'll figure out what to do with that 25%. But this has been an absolute tear. I've pretty much been long. I got to 100% a little bit later than I should have, but I made really good profit on this, and I want to hold on. This is I have probably the highest amount in my retirement account I've ever had right now because of this massive run-up. Just pretty much doubled my money, more than doubled my money recently, and I want to hold on to that. So I may exit some, even though it goes against Consensio. This is still a maybe. I'll let you guys know tomorrow what I end up doing. I don't know yet. It's too early in the morning. The market hasn't even opened yet. I still have a shit ton of time to decide. Now, the daily chart. This is one of the craziest run-ups I ever remember. Now, if we look at recent history, we had a very similar run-up. We can see it right here. I'm going to put percentages to it, right? So we had a very similar run-up right here into an MRI top, and this was a 17% run-up. Now, what about the current run-up? How similar is it to that 17% run-up? It's actually very similar. It is an 18% run-up. Now, look what happened after this run-up. Yes, there was a green star candle, but we ended up in a 1-month consolidation, and there was like a 10% pullback right here to the 20-period moving average. Now, let's go back in time a little bit. Let's look for another run-up that's similar to it. Here's another run-up that's similar to it. How did Bitcoin do and what happened? I'm not sure if I should go all the way down. I'm going to use the breakout area here, and that's a very similar run-up. Again, about 20%, a little bit less. MRI top, consolidated. So, and prior to that, there's one more. Wow, there's more of these than I expected. Another one, breakout, going up for about 17, 18%, and then consolidated for a month. Okay, so we have so much similarity to prior run-ups. Now, this run-up is a little bit different. This run-up is coming off a big crash into what I've called the greatest buying opportunity of the decade. It was right here on this MRI buy. We've talked about it many times. This run-up was a little bit special. Hence, this run-up was probably significantly larger. It was coming off a little bit of a crash. This run-up was longer because the MRI didn't kick off till later. And this run-up would have been like 30%. It was 40%. But again, look what happened the moment we hit the daily MRI. The daily MRI completely slowed us down. So, and I can keep going backwards and backwards and backwards. What this says is, when the MRI has a monster run-up, see, this is a tiny run-up. This is a tiny run-up into an MRI top, only 3-4%, which is why it had a very good opportunity to go into a second consecutive MRI top. And then the second consecutive MRI top gave us that 20% move. And then it slowed down, didn't slow down much, but did slow down. So there's just so much history, and I have so much experience with these kinds of MRI moves that are 10 to 20% moves before they reach an MRI top, that I am, of course, with like 80% confidence, expecting us to slow down and stop and consolidate or pull back. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But I always go with the odds on my side. So it is very, very likely I'm going to be taking profits in my retirement account. And this is where I finally get to reset and hopefully have a comeback in our 24-hour trading contest. But this daily MRI top is something I am taking seriously. Now, you as a viewer of this channel, you don't have to take the MRI seriously. You don't have to take, you don't have to, you can consider the MRI as a joke. You don't have to use this indicator, but I use this indicator. And the only thing that matters to my account with real money on the line is my opinion, not other people's opinions. So I will, of course, be incredibly cautious and probably more cautious than anyone else in the world as to what happens to the price of Bitcoin over the next 24 hours and over the next 48 hours. So I will be as cautious as at any point in the last 3 months. Like the only other time I was as cautious as I will be today is either right here or right here on this red candle on January 22nd when we were breaking the bottom of the channel. Or maybe right here on the red star candle below both moving averages, reaching the bottom of the channel for the like the 6th time. So these are of similar caution flags. And of course the weekly MRI top. So these are so since December, here are my points where I am as cautious as I've been. December 6th, daily MRI top. The week of January 10th, the weekly MRI top, and the ETF launch. You guys know how cautious I was. The red star daily candle, this one or this one, they're pretty much the same thing. They're right next to each other. But it was happening within the weekly MRI top as well. That's January 24th and January 14th and January 18th. Red star daily candles going back to the bottom of the channel below all moving averages. The additional breakdown from the consolidation, but that was followed by a daily MRI low, which made me optimistic. And now I am once again as cautious as at any point in the last 3 months. So I will be taking some profit in real money accounts.
And,
All right,
and
I think I'm done with my rant.
If you've been watching, well, I think we're 5 weeks in now to the daily high series. All of this is, you've just gone through basically 5 weeks of what we spoke about. And yeah, and go back, and if you think Tone's just using revisionist history, he absolutely said every single thing that he just said right now. He said that on this show. And mark my words, he's saying it now. The 9 is of concern. The MRI top is of concern. And I'm without the MRI and maybe Fibonacci's, which I'm not familiar with, as much as I should be. There's nothing for me to look at here. There's nothing for me to look at. I'm more of the Consensio mindset where I think we're going to 1 million until proven otherwise. But as a trader, in my leverage trading account, I'm also cautious of this MRI top. And if you go to the 4-hour time frame, I think that there's 2 critical time frames which I'm.
Oh yeah, I haven't even looked at the short-term stuff. Now on the short-term stuff, you can see the 1-hour MRI top did, a little bit of a pullback. That was my main reason for going no leverage short in the 24-hour contest. It was the 1-hour MRI top happening right as we were doing the show yesterday, and also the daily, precursor to the MRI that was coming today. And right now, the 1-hour chart is actually super bullish for me. We have reached this this top for the 3rd time, and we have plenty of room on the 1-hour MRI. We just had a green star candle at approximately the same price. The moving average is slowed down. So I'm actually bullish on the 1-hour time frame, but the 4-hour time frame is definitely calling for a pullback. The 4-hour time frame is on an MRI top. It is a 4-hour top in consolidation, not a 4-hour top, peaking out. So it's not as as cautious as others, but again, the beauty of the MRI indicator is that it doesn't historically change. This is why I hate any indicators or any patterns that change historically as time goes on. This is why I'm not a fan of Wyckoff, and I think the Elliott wave is one of the worst trading tools one can use because it changes the history of your indicator based on the future prices that are coming in. The MRI doesn't do that. You can see
Great for writing historical books on what happened in 1929.
Yeah. And I would love to, like, it's been a while, but I would love to go back to 1929 and see how the MRI performed on the 1929 stock market top, which is something you can't really do with Elliott wave because it would have altered that history than how you would have seen it in real time.
I do it with I do it with alphanumerics all the time. I look at historical charts and see, well, what would Matt have done in 1935? You know,
Right.
I love that.
And right here, the last time, wow, I'm actually surprised that the MRI has not hit more MRI tops on a 4-hour scale. The last time was back on February 8th. That's a while ago. And that MRI top was completely ignored. And we continued to rage on. And the MRI top prior to that was actually very, very useful on a 4-hour scale. So now we're 1-1. I'd like to have the odds in my favor threefold. And we're only looking at MRI tops here, not MRI bottoms. And we haven't had many. Look at that. Here's an MRI top. Now we're 2-1. And here's an MRI top that I'm going to say is neutral. It's an MRI top that pulled us back. But then it gave you a nice, clean green star candle. So it wasn't like totally wrong. But it also came on a daily MRI buy. So you could have potentially ignored this 4-hour MRI top because the daily is completely contradicting it to the upside. So this I'm just going to leave neutral. So we're 2-1. So and then I got to scroll for quite a while, and the show has already been going on for 30 minutes. So maybe I'll stop. So I'm not sure how much emphasis to put on the 4-hour MRI top. It certainly helps the case of being extra cautious, but it doesn't add all that much to the case, I would say.
And it's so funny because this show has been really great, and I really enjoyed yesterday when we've been reviewing the trades that we've been making because like you just gone through a few examples right now of how like you can see where the MRI top came in on the one that used on the one that didn't have any kind of rally that preceded it, but and then the 3 candles later you got the green star MRI count. They're just getting a top that might be your close of your trade, but then 4 hours, 8 hours later you're back to work. You know, it's like it's a
Right.
constant wheel. It's a constant wheel, and you can see right there it had the MRI top. It had like a plateaued 1 to 3 candle correction, and then it just went off again. So you'd have to be ready, breaking a new structure of the market. It's just trading. It's just the same. The rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Okay.
Right. Now, I will
Today's
say,
trade.
like again, there's things that are happening. There are things that we think are going to happen, and then there are things that we want to happen. Like, here's what I want to happen. Regardless of what I end up doing in this trading contest for the next 24 hours, to potentially lower my P&L even more, I am begging the market, praying to the sun gods, that we rally like $4,000 in the next 3 hours, because that will make me so comfortable with exiting in my real life accounts. I want to get out of my Bitfarms option positions. I want to get out of my BlackRock ETF, and I just want to hold on to my Fidelity ETF for whatever time, right? So I want to get out today on the daily MRI candle, and I want to get out at the highest possible price. So if we can rally to like $58,000 in the next 4 hours, I would be absolutely ecstatic. And the higher we go in the next 6 hours, the more I am taking off the market and into cash in my real life trading account. Regardless what I end up doing in my 24-hour contest. So the next contest is probably going to be very different. The next contest might somehow needs to match our real life, real money positions. Since I'm speaking, before I forget, I know Matt is gonna shill a bunch of stuff as we close out. I want to shill one thing before we close out. So I never mentioned it on the show. I get to shill my stuff for a change, and that is the MRI notification service, which is not really mine, but it was based on my help and me being an advisor to a project. So we are hitting a couple of daily MRI tops, and you can have this MRI notification service. It's free for like 14-day trial, and it will notify you to your text messages, to your emails, when assets are hitting certain MRI tops. I believe it's set to like daily, weekly, and monthly. And the way I use this thing is there's twofold, right? You can use it to spot MRI tops and have it automatically notify you, and it has thousands of assets from traditional markets to currencies to all the shitcoins, all the shitcoin pairs. But also what I like doing is I like finding gems that are bullish across all the time frames. So whatever this is, ABSI, and this is just in alphabetical order. Like this is just the stock market in alphabetical order. We can put on like the crypto list. But this stock happens to be bullish across the board. I immediately go and take a look at the chart, and you can see the daily chart, amazing consolidation here. We can go to the weekly chart, and it's only on a 3 based on MRI coming off weekly MRI top consolidation. If you go to the monthly, wow, it's also only on a 3. So this would be, wow, what is this? ABSI. Sorry, we don't normally talk like random stocks, but holy shit, let me look this up, because I'm still like, my eyes are still used to TradingView. I think I need to look it up here, my Bitfarms. Oh man, it fell from 370. Every penny counts here when you're in an options trade that is now so in the money by 70 cents on a $3 option call. And I only trade options near the money, but you have to watch the option. ABSI. I personally like looking at them. I hope it has good volume. Look at that. I hope it has a history.
You're not screen
wow,
sharing.
look at the stock.
You're not screen
Look at the
sharing.
stock. I'm not screen sharing. Oh my God, I wasn't screen sharing the whole time? Man, you gotta
No,
tell me.
you're in the MRI service, but you have to go back if you want to screen share the chart.
Oh, right, because I switched to the okay, that's why. I went to okay, so let me do it this way. My bad. Am I still screen sharing or no? I am, right?
Now it's just us.
Okay. Oh, that's
There you
weird. Okay. Okay, so here's some kind of IPO, and the tone-based rule is wait for a 50% crash from IPO. This thing fell 93%,
Wow.
but it's now rallying. So clearly this company did not go out of business. It's only a $4 stock, and obviously completely missed the run-up because I didn't know the stock existed. But right now, look how bullish it is, man.
Can you put it on the monthly for a second? Go to the
I'm also
monthly.
going to put it on alphanumerics.
Yeah, put on the monthly.
Look at that. You got your purple. You got your purple candle
Green
and matching
diamond.
my star candle. You got the green diamond, but I have my green diamonds on a reverse scale because I just like it better that way. Matt has it without the reverse scale, and without the reverse scale, I don't see a green diamond. Well, that's interesting, isn't it?
I know why. It's too new.
Again,
I've never
notch
seen
for
that.
why you use a notch for why to use the reverse.
Kudos.
And watch, I'm gonna
Looks
get
good.
Matt to switch and start using the reverse eventually.
I use them both.
And yeah, it's a green star purple candle. Wow, look at this. So it didn't take me long to find a gem like this. I'm liking this, man. After I exit from the Bitcoin position, maybe I'll like throw a little bit on this stock. No idea what this is, by the way. I may want to Google it first.
Yeah, trading MRI service is fantastic. It's bloody fantastic, and you've just shown it.
There's a link in the description. You can try it out for free. You can reach out to the team how to set up notifications for it. And yeah, for the Power MRI users, that is definitely a service you want if you're trading many markets other than a single asset.
Awesome. Let's put this trade on. Give me a screen share. I'll move the board, move the dinosaurs.
All right. Well, move a dinosaur.
Yeah, my dinosaur. I'm off the ears. Winning, 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 winning. All right, trade time. Shit, what are we gonna do? I know what you're gonna do. What am I gonna do?
Yeah, what
All
are
right.
you gonna do? I know what I'm
Um,
gonna do.
who's doing it? You're all right. I'm off camera then. All right.
Oh, did I take screen share again? I did, right?
Yeah,
I'm
I have to.
I'm
Yeah, you're on screen share.
I'm
I'm
on
off
screen
camera.
share. All right, I'm just gonna use the back to the 1 hour chart. Let's pick our price.
Okay.
The price is $52,235.
Okay.
Okay, so in the last two trading contests, I should have just gone no leverage long instead of no leverage short. I was just like guessing a direction. With the daily MRI top, I have to trust my own indicator. It doesn't matter if the price of Bitcoin goes to $1 million tomorrow. I am going to do what Matt did a week ago and
Ooh.
just go all out. I am going 10x leverage long
No.
here on a
No,
short.
really?
Once again, I'm going to trust the MRI, even though I'm begging for the market to liquidate my entire account. Admit that Matt won the trading contest and start fresh. But I am going
Whoa.
all out short here for the trading contest. But for the real traders out there, where would I set my stop loss? And right now, on
52,400.
is it just me or is that one? Oh, right, because it's such a high leverage trade.
Leverage.
1% exactly. I wasn't leveraged before. So my stop loss would be above this morning's swing high, which is I may have to talk about, I may have to take 5 more minutes and discuss this. So if I put in a 5 here, where does it go? Perfect.
There it is.
Wow, that's a great guess. Okay. So here is the thing. This is where my stop loss would normally be on a trade like this. However, if this was a real money account, I would not enter the trade at 8 o'clock in the morning. By rule, and I can spend 3 hours explaining why this rule exists. I do not trade before 9:55 a.m. Maybe I'll stretch it to 9:50 a.m. But normally, I don't trade before 10 a.m., and I may pre-run my 10 a.m. trade by a few minutes. It doesn't matter if I'm trading Bitcoin or I'm trading Apple stock. I would not trade at this hour because market open is completely unpredictable. And the most money I've ever lost in the history of my trading have always taken place between 8 o'clock in the morning and 10 o'clock in the morning. So I don't trade in that window. So unfortunately, because Matt lives in the middle of nowhere where humans aren't supposed to be living, we're doing the show at the most unreasonable time for any real trading. So having said that, if a chart looked like this is where my stop loss would be. In fact, a little bit lower than that. I'm going to make it 4%. Okay, I'm done. I'm giving you the screen share.
I'm awestruck. You've gone 10x short. Wow. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I'm so excited.
Longer show today. Hey, if tomorrow my entire account's liquidated, it's going to be a very short show. It'll be Matt laughing like the guy in The Simpsons. And that'll be the end of the show.
I'll be dancing. I'm going 3x leverage long, which I love that you're taking the opposite. I love it. I love it. I love that you're taking the opposite side of the trade. I love that you've gone 10x long. It's short. It's going to be so interesting tomorrow that we've done this. And I just can't wait. You have to tune in for tomorrow to see what's happened. To either turn to a hero or a zero.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
So
watching. Go on, Tone. Go on.
yeah, no, but again, I just want to reiterate, this is the complete opposite of what I'm doing with my real money.
This is the only money that matters. The
Yeah,
money
my
between.
real money. Look, I am gonna take profit in some of my trades, and the higher we go in the next 12 out in the next 6 hours, the more of that profit I'm gonna take.
Yeah, I'm in $100,000 leverage long position right now. I'm watching it very carefully, but I'm more interested in this. This is for you guys. All right, please like and subscribe to the show. Please visit tonebase.com. Please visit alphanumetrics.com. Please use the affiliate links in the description below for the exchanges that we like. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Winners or grinners. Tone.